concise, short, or this will end up taking all night.
Now, is this a question and answer thing?
Yeah, we do some Q&A once people get joined.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. Let's wipe that lens off. We got a little bit of crusty lens factor. Bear with me. Bear with me.
Lens.
Bear with me, live streamers. Bear with me.
Crusty
I'm coming back. Look, we got 2 people already. Woo. We're balling out till we fall out. Somebody drop some comments. Holler at us.
Come on.
We are really smell great. We're fresh off an all-day excursion. Drove way out to East Texas. Hey, we got 9 people watching. That's cool. Let me see if I can find some comments. Y'all start dropping questions. We're going to start talking about baits here in just a minute. 14. Boy, we're building up quick tonight.
That's pretty quick. That hasn't been a minute.
It's happening.
Good job, guys.
Here we go. Lane Seaman, what's up? What's up, big dog? What's up with y'all? Hey, Billy was great. Oh, that's Buzzy Gruen. He met us last week. He's a cool guy. He was at our seminar last week.
Thanks for coming.
That's right.
We'll see you this Friday. Well, a week from today.
Probably not. He's from out of state. But he's fixing to move back down here.
I still
He's
can
coming.
see you.
Last time he saw me. Some days, it's very inconsistent for me. How about you?
Usually August is going to be that. For me, I call them the dog days of summer. I don't mean you're not going to catch fish, but it's just
very inconsistent. So this is, by the way, if y'all don't know, Mike McFarland, McFarlandFishing.com. Check him out. Check him out at Mike McFarland on Facebook. He's a good friend and a heck of a stick.
Thank you.
Hey, somebody's on the road to Tennessee and watching this. Don't be driving and watching a live stream, bro.
You can actually read that?
Yeah, I've got really good eyes. How you think I'm so good at sight fishing, man?
I'm getting old, dude.
That's why I'm so good at sight fishing. All right, let's jump right into it. We got a good crowd. You guys drop questions. We'll answer them after we talk about baits. Mike will answer questions. I'll answer questions. We'll knock it out. I'm going to start because I'm going to do mine real quick because they're used to seeing these baits every week. Y'all know this guy, right? Oh, Yellow Belly. Look, he getting broke in. Y'all see that paint getting rubbed off? That Yellow Belly is just about right. He's starting to get broke in. So he is catching fish.
That's Kermit.
No, man, that's old Yellow Belly. That's his name. You can't be renaming my frog now, Mike. That's my frog dog right there. Look, I even got the fish tore the trailer off this one at the end of the day the other day, so I got to put a trailer back on here. But that's actually a ½ ounce. I'm getting deeper in that grass and ripping out more with a live magic shad.
What's that skirt color?
It's a green. It's called green pumpkin, but it has like a blue sheen to it.
I noticed that, and that's why
it's really cool looking. It's a green pumpkin, but
it's great.
Hey, if y'all want to see these, check them out at Lake Fork Trophy Lures store. Ronnie's got them on the front counter. The green pumpkin they make in these Japanese underground chatterbaits, it's nasty, boy. It's bad.
Super nasty.
And then, yep, it's hard. It's difficult. It's tough. We be throwing a wacky worm, dog. Old wacky rig trick worm, half nail weight in the head, Gamakatsu, finesse, wide weedless hook. That's my 3. Mike's going to finish off top 5. Take it over, buddy.
Well, my favorite 2 baits in the summertime, really just about any time of year, and right now they are working. They worked out pretty well today. I always love a football jig, and I made my move here to Texas, and I found the very best football jig that I've ever used. You're going to hear me talk about it a whole lot, but this is a Santone 3/4 ounce football jig in the color Pake's Perch.
Pake's Perch.
It's my favorite. I catch a lot of big fish, but one of the tricks that I have is I use the lobster, not the regular range tail. It's a lot bigger profile, and it allows me to not have to trim this skirt. I still get the action, but I've got a big profile for those big bass that are looking for a bigger bite. It's my most favorite in the summer. I love fish deep. If I do find some shallow fish, and there are shallow fish.
Yeah, we saw some.
Absolutely. Hands down, the Hack Attack, Greg Hackney will back it up, but there isn't much better than a swim jig, and my preference is the Santone swim jig.
Santone makes a great swim jig. I'll throw that 6 Sense Divine swim jig, Santone swim jig go awesome.
I like 3 or 4 different colors.
I'm going to do some math to figure out what that actually is.
Obviously, I'm going to, it's odd. It's kind of like Aaron Martin.
That's more complicated fractions than I like.
It's not a quarter, half, 3/4. It's like the in-betweens. But whatever, these are the in-betweens. 3/8, 5/16, etc. And 2 or 3 different varieties of colors, guys. Brim colors for sure. I like Bass Candy, Pake's Perch.
Hey, we got a Mike question. You ready, Mike?
Yes, sir.
All right. So in your opinion, Mike, what is it about that Santone jig that makes it The best. Why is it the best jig, Mike?
Okay, I fished with a lot of jigs for over 30 years. I used to make my own jigs. I had them down to about 97 cents a piece. What I was most intrigued by Santone when I came here were two things. The color selection is phenomenal, as you may find elsewhere with other jigs, which you won't find, and what I have not found in other jigs. Proof today, when we were fishing, there's two things. This is a super duper heavy duty hook. A lot of hooks that are super duty heavy simply break when you pull them out. It's even hard to bend this. It'll bend just a little bit. I was hooked in wood today, and I shot. It does not fail. It does not snap the hook. As far as the football jig and stuff, hey, come on. A lead head's a lead head. It's Portwell. But here's my favorite part. Donald Trump's trying to make us America again, and these are made right here in America.
In East Texas.
In East Texas,
right.
By Americans. Not overseas in Japan.
Made by hand,
not
by
anywhere
Texas.
else. They're made right here by hand. And the lady, she's a beautiful person. She's sweet. But Santone, man, I can't thank them enough.
Good people to deal with, quality people, quality product, like we always say with some of my sponsors. I feel the same way. Hey, I'm going to add something to that. Here's the deal. On a football head jig, everybody's football head jig will hook fish the right way, predominantly in the top of the mouth. Not a lot of corner hooked fish in the corner of the mouth with a football jig. But on flipping jigs, swim jigs, all kinds of other jigs, there's a lot of jigs out there that people think look cool and they stand up and they're all this and all that. Santone has one of, if not the only stand-up head flipping jig that will hook them in the top of the head.
That's right.
Because of the head design. And there's some intricate details that take forever to explain. I don't want to go into all that, but I'll just say this. I like a Santone jig, and I like a 6th Sense jig for the same reason that all of their jigs in all formats hook them predominantly in the top of the head. Very, very rare to get a corner hook fish on a Santone or 6 inch
Absolutely.
jig. That's the most important part about jigging.
And that is really important. If you're not getting hooked in the bone, that's not a good thing. Certainly as a tournament angler, you're nervous. One last thing that I'll add to this Santone is it's priced right. The price point is not ridiculous.
All right, next question. Here we go. Stained water, 87 degree water in Northern California.
Uh-oh!
He's a West Coaster.
What do you mean stained water in Northern California? Oh, that's right. You guys just got flooded.
What would you throw?
What
would you throw into a lake with not much cover? So not much cover, 87, stained, NorCal, talk to them.
Well, this time of year, I need you to elaborate a little bit more. You talking about fishing there right now? What are you talking about? I'm assuming you are because it's been flooded and things should be.
Let's talk about trying to catch fish in just dirty water in the summer.
Right now, dirty water in the summer, your fish are going to be a little shallower than you're used to. The dirty water's going to force them there.
Shallow and tight.
Definitely shallow and tight. Noise. You don't have cover in that bait. Get something that already has it impregnated, or get you some Berkeley spray.
Go darker than normal.
The final thing is most definitely dark. Blacks and blues, blacks and browns, stay dark, stay solid colors.
Whatever they're used to catching them on out there, go way darker than that.
And this is my favorite thing to say to clients, slow down. I guarantee you in that dirty water, you have to slow down more than you expect. Once you find some fish, stay in that area, there's more.
Here's a good question. Are either of you sponsored by an electronics company? The answer is no. I'm not. Are you? I'm not sponsored by any electronics company.
Not at this time.
Right. If not, what are your favorites and why? Well, we're not, so I'm going to give you, perfectly honest opinion here, no doubt. I had Humminbirds on my last boat, and I went back to Lowrance. I'm not going to speak on Garmin or Ray Marine. I've heard good things. I don't have personal experience, so I'm not going to speak on those. But between the Humminbird and Lowrance, here's what I think. On a Humminbird, you can, no doubt about it, see structure better, 100%. You can see the details of the structure better on a Humminbird on their down scan and side imaging. On a Lowrance, I can 100% find fish better. I can mark fish, see fish, know exactly what fish that is, where he's sitting, what breed he is, all that stuff. I'm much more competent, and I think that's in general a general thing about Lowrance. They tell you the fish better, and I care more about the fish than I do the structure. So for me, on this boat, I went back to Lowrance.
In the X-15s, I went through the Don Ivino week classic training. I experienced the first liquid crystalgraphs, and I have always used the Lowrance. This is my theory on it. It's just like Chevy, Ford, or Dodge. Learn how to use it. Learn how to use it properly. Understand and make sure that your interpretations are correct. And if you are, it's really a usability. That's all. So it's your choice. There you go.
Oops. I'll move the screen.
It's it really, like I said, one guy likes a Chevy and one guy likes a Ford. They both get you to the same place. They may do it a little different, but that's really the user interface is a lot easier in my opinion with the Lowrance. The learning curve is easier with Lowrance, but I choose Lowrance to this day, and I probably will till the day I die.
All right. Hope that answers the question. Both Lowrance guys, both do it for a living. We depend on Lowrance day in, day out. Okay. Somebody says that you need your official Lake Fort Guide Billy Lawson gear. Okay. So decals and stickers are in. Trying to get the shirts worked out right now. We're just doing shirts right up front at first. We'll move on to hoodies once we get a little closer to fall. Right now, shirts, we got the first sample back. I literally got it today. I haven't even had a chance to look at it yet. It's in my house. It just got here. We just walked in the door. So I haven't had a chance to look at it. But shirts should be really close. Hopefully within a few weeks we will have shirts. I will show you guys the sample on the next live stream. So that is coming very soon. Stay tuned for that. Of course, I will update you as soon as it does. Let's see. Well, hey, this is a great question because we have a great answer for this. So GW Matthews says, we need an electronics class to know what to look for. GW Matthews, if you go on my channel page right now and you look at the upload from last Friday, this man right here who has just a ridiculous amount of knowledge, 2 weeks we're doing these seminars, he's actually going through it right now. So if you can't be with us in Emory, live in person, make sure you're following the channel. We live stream those and they post to the channel.
Watch the first one, and here's the reason why. In the way that I do this in a 4 sequence, you really need to see the first one. Right. The next one is...
They all tie together.
They all tie together, and by the time I'm in 4, we're very advanced. So this first one was very basic. I need you to see that if you're that interested. Please do. And I look forward to next Friday seeing you guys all again.
Thank you for the comment.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Somebody else throw me some questions. We got. I think we've answered all our questions. I may have missed one. If I did, if I missed a question that you asked, punch it back in for me again, guys. So, we actually went out and filmed today.
Yeah. I was going to say, when you ever went talking about all that stuff.
What is a frog to use in shallow lily pads? Well, a different kind of frog? No.
Depends on how thick the lilies are.
Yeah, it does. The lily pads can be different. So, we're talking about summertime, full bloom, thick lily pads, I'm assuming here. So, let's go with that. Honestly, I like to throw a weedless swim bait or a chatterbait on the edges a lot. But when the sun's high, that's early in the morning now. When the sun's high, if I have low light conditions, we'll do the swim bait deal on the edge. If the sun's high, I like to actually take a pretty light Texas rig and throw it up on top of a pad and weasel it down in between them cracks in them pads. And let that thing fall slow into those pads.
That tries your patience right there.
It does. So I like to take a 1/4 ounce Texas rig with, you know, something like a Hyper Freak or a baby brush hog, a small, compact creature bait, and a 1/4 ounce Texas rig and flip it in there. I do use braid though, and here's why. Because you need that braid to cut them pads really, really bad. Let's see. I wouldn't need to know my electronics if y'all would tell us your spots. He wouldn't need to know his electronics if we just tell it.
Hang on now. Since I'm a sonar man, I want you to listen, please.
That's not true at all. You still need them.
If I have a spot and I give you a waypoint, but I don't tell you what time they're there.
Yeah. You need them electronics. We could give you a list of spots, but if you don't verify the fish are there with your electronics, you might waste a lot of time.
Guys, I got 1,280 waypoints on LinkedIn.
That's ridiculous, bro.
1,280 from end to end.
That's crazy.
And you would, if I gave you, you'd just spin your head. Trust me. It doesn't work that simple. It's not the same spot every day.
Here's a good one. Let's see. Thanks for answering. Since you both are Lowrance guys, is the Elite TI a good unit on a budget or save up for the HDS?
Yes, sir.
The Elite TI is fine.
Perfect.
Fine. It's a good unit, a very good unit. The HDS has some features, but the sonar is the same quality. It's just as good a sonar as the HDS.
Absolutely, sir. That's the way I would suggest you go. For sure.
Yeah. All right. So on windy days, this time of year with dirty water, what technique do you all like and where would you start looking? We're going to have 2 totally different answers because you're an offshore structure guy. I'm a shallow water guy. I'll let you go ahead. Go ahead.
First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fish the wind-blown stuff. The dirty water at that point is irrelevant to me. When you said wind, wind comes first.
It's just this. Oh yeah, dirty water. You did say dirty water. Okay.
So the dirty water is secondary to me. I'm going to fish wind-blown things. There may be a wind-blown tree line. It may be a wind-blown hump offshore. It may be. You said dirty water, so I'm probably going to be looking shallow. Wind-blown point, a wind-blown grass line, but wind-blown secondary.
That's going to bring you shallow on average. I mean, we got to know how dirty are we talking. If it's filthy dirty, you're going to need to get up in the dirt where I like to hang out, and you're going to need to get on, you know, the points and the flats off creek channel bends and stuff like that where the wind's really rocking it. And I'm going to get in there and I'm going to go after them with, you know, I keep saying it time and time again, but it's a great bait, a chatterbait. A chatterbait's perfect in that situation.
And a spinnerbait or a chatterbait.
Yeah, a big bladed spinnerbait, a chatterbait in the wind in the summer's great. And then if I can't get them to bite the moving stuff, I'm still going to fish the wind, but I'm going to take that 3/4 ounce flipping jig in a black and blue or a green pumpkin and orange, something like that, and I'm going to put
dark solid color.
In that dirty water, I'm going to put that flipping jig right next to hard
stained water. They can see about 5 to 10 feet. In the darkest, dirty water, where you and I lose our chartreuse bait within 2 inches. So you got a chartreuse spinner bait, you're jumping in the dirty water, and it's gone within 2 inches. The bass can still see 3 to 5 feet.
They see a lot better than you think.
But you need solid color so they see the shadow, the silhouette, or the solid color.
He says he can see about he can see 2 to 3 feet.
That's
Man,
good. That's good.
Go fish offshore. That's like Lake
that
Fort.
ain't even dirty water. That
That's
ain't
like
dirty
the west
water.
arm of Lake Fort, bro.
But one other thing on it, if it was official dirty water, you want something with blades thumping because the fish is forced, because the eyesight is lost. They still see 3 to 5 feet. They feed with the lateral line. So now it's all feeding off of noise.
Depend more on that. Sure.
There's 3 reasons and 3 ways fish eat. They eat to eat. They eat because they saw it or they sensed it with a lateral line. Those are the I see it, lateral line. The third is pure instinctive territory. They're not there to eat it, they're killing. Those are your 3 bites. Feeding, instinctive reaction, and territory.
What do you think about a Ned rig at Lake McClure in NorCal, Mike? Lake McClure, MCLURE. You ever fish that?
If you guys will start on the West Coast, if you guys will start fishing that Ned rig, and you guys will take a close look at the Santone finesse jig. We fish a lot of Kitex, we fish a lot of really small, compact spider jigs, finesse jigs on the West Coast. And Santone's got one that I can't wait to come back.
It's a good one.
I can't wait till I show up at the U.S. Open here in a few years.
It's a good deal.
You want to see an incredible.
So Ned rig's good on Lake McClure, but finesse jig is your
both of those right now are going to be dominating on those 2 pound, the 10 pound, 12 pound sack lake. Man, I wish I'd have known that before I moved to Texas.
Here's a good question. It's a Lake Fork question. Is it true that the bass eat once a day? I heard it from a Lake Fork guide and don't know if I believe it. So, right now, possibly. I think twice a day is more accurate.
I've seen them 3-4 times a day.
Even at the most minimal cycle, I think they still feed at least twice a day. They have those 2 peak periods throughout the 24. Now, one of those is at night right now. But there is, during your daytime hours this time of year, you usually have
minimum.
Yeah, during your daytime hours right now, the cycle went with the moon, the daytime hours, you got one cycle probably where they're really going to feed. But, man, during the fall, they feed all day.
I'm looking at 20, but here's the deal, and biologists will back this up any of the week. It's cold-blooded creatures, so the hotter the water, the faster the digestive system. The faster the food digests, the more they have to eat.
More. Yeah.
So the hotter the water, the more they have to eat. Typically, they're going to eat about once or twice a day, even 3 times a day in a really hot summer. Honestly, in the winter, the fish people make a mistake of saying they have to eat. They do not have to eat. That is absolutely incorrect. I will battle till my death, till my grave. They are capable of dormitizing and relaxing their body just like a snake. If the water is too cold, they cannot digest the food. So they will not eat it. There are times when they do not eat, but maybe once a week or 2. Now listen to me. When I say that, does that mean they go on a sabbatical and don't eat? No. They want to eat. So they will go warm themselves in a sun bay in the afternoon so they can digest the food. Why is a bass in 1 foot of water when it's 39 degrees in the middle of the afternoon? Because he's just like a turtle. He's getting the UV rays in his body, helping him digest that food. He's there to warm and digest his food, otherwise he can't. So there's really a lot of science and biology.
So the answer to that question, does a bass eat once a day? That's not true.
No, not every day.
Not
so
even
you're right,
close.
it's not true. There's variables.
There may be one peak feeding time where most of the fish eat when it's tough in the summer like it is now, but no, in general, bass don't eat once a day. And even right now, like when they're tough and they're conserving their energy and they're going on these little flurries like they do in the summer, they're not just eating once a day, and they're certainly not all eating at the same time either.
No.
So,
they can't.
And when you get to fall and spring, man, they feed. There ain't no telling when they're going to feed.
And like in the fall or spring, they may feed for an hour or two straight. Now they're going to feed short and sweet. They can't. It's like you running around a race track right now. In the fall, and it's nice and cool, you might make 10 laps yourself, and you'll be all right. Try and run it right now. What?
On main lake points and pond dams, etc., offshore structure, do the fish reside for the most part to that area and move around that general area as they feed? So do they stay on one piece of main lake structure?
No. Not absolutely not. They visit those. Those are feeding grounds. They come and go to those.
And they may pull into this pond dam today, and if the wind blows the other direction, they'll go to that pond dam tomorrow.
Listen, we just
different.
read a post from Keith Combs who talked about a fish that he caught, broke a hook off in its mouth. It fell back in the water with the hook in the mouth. 3 weeks later in practice, he caught it 12 miles up Lake Champlain with the hook still in his mouth. It was the same fish because it had his hook in it. They do move around. They move around a lot more than you do. There are residential fish. There are always shallow fish. Dock fish can live on a dock all year long if the water doesn't fluctuate. That's your question. Do I have fluctuation? If I have fluctuation, I've got lots of moving fish. If it's stable, they may make a home, stay.
And to further that, some of those, those grass fish that I'm fishing for in the summer,
they're there. They live there.
They're not moving more than 100 yards at most. At most.
Because they've got deep water. They got the creek to go to.
All.
So your bedroom and kitchen.
The main lake-oriented fish, they can and will and do travel.
Back to the question, some of those main lake fish that pull up on these points, research, bedroom and kitchens. Do some homework on that. I'll have to catch a lot more fish.
Oh, here's a great question. So you guys might have already said it, but where can I get some of those jigs? So Santone jigs is
SantoneLures.com.
SantoneLures.com. You can order from there. They're also on Tackle Warehouse.
Yep.
They're on Anglers Pro Shop. They're on every tackle. I mean, they're legit. They're big time.
So, they're in Lake Fork Marina. They're in Oakland.
Yeah, they're in all the shops around here, of course.
They're in Lake Fork
even all the online stores, they're in all of them. So Santone Lures, if you just Google search it, you'll have about 20 options pop up to buy them. So.
And they make a lot more than just jigs.
They do. They make a great spinnerbait, and they make
shaky head.
On fire. They've got a lot of stuff. Yeah. What's the deal with the Thermocline this year, or lack thereof? God, you know what? It's just not there. A lot of rain, a lot of up and down weather. That's it. I don't really want to elaborate on that because it's a
wind breaks thermoclines.
Long
yeah, make it quick. Wind breaks thermoclines, and this year we only had about maybe 1 week's worth of glass water on Fork. We've had wind and wind and wind and wind and
a
change
lot
directions and a
lot
cold
rain
and weathers and cool fronts. Cold water and wind break thermoclines. Cold water sinks.
I mean, just look at this next week. It's the second week in August, and it's going to be in the 80s.
And at this point, we hope that we do not have the next 2 weeks get hot and build a thermocline because it's going to make for a rough turnover. The more solidified the thermocline, the worse the turnover.
This might be a question because I got red. I'm sorry. That just made me laugh out loud. This is live. This is live TV right here. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
What's kind of cool this year is we shouldn't have much of a turnover. You're going to see a turnover, but it's going to happen fast. Fish aren't going to get us messed up for it because there was no thermocline, so you're not going to have a whole inversion of really bad water. You're going to have slop, and you're going to see the junk float on top again like you always do, but the fish won't bite better this year.
Yeah. Forget thermocline.
Don't even think about it.
Screw the thermocline. It's done. Don't worry about it. You'll have an easier turnover.
We'll talk about it next. We'll talk about it next May when it should be building.
Hopefully. What kind of sunscreen do y'all use? I got a feeling like that's a backhanded question because we just came off the water, and I know I got the coon eyes going.
And I don't.
Yeah. You know what kind of sunscreen I use? This awesome faded skeeter hat. That was my sunscreen.
You just poked the bear, okay?
Oh my goodness.
I am the poster child for skin cancer. I go every 6 months and get cut on every 6 months. I've lost half of my eyelid with a 4-hour major surgery that potentially could have been melanoma and killed me. I lose my earpieces all the time. I use Neutrogena 70 block. I get in the shower, I get out of the shower, towel dry, and immediately block everything. I'm telling you, man, I've been fishing all my life, and that's all I've done. And today, if I've made any mistake, it's I didn't protect myself, and I'm paying for it. I'm 46 years old. I have no idea what it'll be like when I'm 50, 60, 70, or 80. It's probably going to take my life.
Yeah, I didn't wear sunscreen today because I didn't think we were going to be out there. We weren't supposed to be out there that long. This guy.
You ain't gonna burn me, buddy. 70 block here, and I'm covered up from head to toe. Gloves, the whole 9 yards.
I normally do wear some sunscreen during the summer, but I didn't today because I didn't think we were going to be out there till noon. But we had to grind, and it still didn't work out that great. But y'all see that next week. Don't worry about that. All right, let's see. Somebody says we don't need sunscreen if we get a Your Lake Fort Guide hoodie. I like that. I like that.
I tell you what, you go through what I went through. You go find me on Facebook and go far enough back to see the pictures of when I was surgery. I look like Rocky Balboa from surgery. You have that scare like I did, and I guarantee you there's not one single one of you that wouldn't be protecting yourself like I am.
All right. Everywhere looks good on Lake Fork, and it's a slot lake. Should have lots of fish. How come they are so hard to catch? Well, that's partially us and all the other guys like us' fault. That's partially all of you awesome weekend anglers that show up every single week, even when the fish is tough. It's just part of the deal. There's a lot of factors. There's heavy Florida strain influence, Florida strain are more particular. There is a ridiculous amount of bait in this lake, so they don't ever have to eat. Those fish are never hungry. Never. They can eat whenever they want to. It is, per acre, the most pressured bass lake in the world, hands down. And there's something I'm forgetting here. The cover. Like you said, every place looks good on Fork. So it becomes an issue for a guy that's not out there every single day to consistently be around the fish. And by the way, the pressure part, I love each and every one of you that come to the lake. It's good for our business. Please, It's good for the businesses around the lake. Please continue to come. Come in more numbers than ever. Everybody, let's get on Lake Fork, because the great part about it is, this is the one thing I was forgetting. When you have a bunch of fish that are over 8 pounds, those fish are harder to catch.
Absolutely.
So there's a bigger percentage of our bass population that are trophy fish that are not easy to catch. And that's just another factor amongst all those things that we just said.
Perfect simile. It's easy to trick a little 10-year-old kid for a piece of candy, or take the garbage out and I'll give you a piece of cake. He's going to do it. You're not going to trick an adult that easily. So those bigger fish are smarter. And here's something even bigger. I'm a hunter. I used to be a hunter, not a big hunter like a big game hunter, but I used to love to hunt birds, quail. And if I went out and found fresh quail that weren't hunted, they were easy to shoot. If I was on quail that had been hounded on, they're hard to get. The same thing with fish. These fish get hammered. They get hammered. They're tough to catch because they are fish forward. They're not smart. They're conditioned. So just put it in it. If you're a hunter, you really get it right away. You find deer that nobody's been bugging, they're easy to get. If the deer have been harassed for weeks, they're spooky and they're hard to get. It's identical. It's just a fish in the water instead of a deer out of the water.
What color and what depth would you fish a jig at Lake Fork this weekend?
Boom.
And the depth would be 15 to 20.
15 to 20. I also, because I'm in a moon phase right now, I would go ahead and throw the JC craw. Lake Fork does have big craws, and they're usually dark. I like the black and red or the black and orange. The JC craw is bomb color. So between the Pake's Perch and the JC craw, the next 4 days with the full moon coming, that's where I'd be throwing.
Yep. Green based, black based.
Both.
Stick with those. Stick with those. That's the color. The depth, 15 to 20 foot, main lake, humps, pond dams, and points, preferably with wind blowing on them. That's what you're looking for on a jig for this weekend. Hey, that's going to be our time for tonight. We went through it real quick. Great questions. Thank y'all so much. Mike, thank you.
Guys. Thank you, sir.
Hey, you guys get on Facebook. Hit me up at Your Lake Fork Guide on Facebook. Hit me up at Your Lake Fork Guide on Instagram. Give me a follow. Give me a like. You guys are already on the YouTube channel, so we really appreciate that. McFarlandFishing.com. Mike McFarland on Facebook. Man, thanks, brother.
This is fun.
It's a lot of fun.
We're lucky.
It's cool to get to talk to people.
We're lucky
like this.
people that we've been able to, in just a matter of 30 seconds, have this many people take interest in us and what we do. So really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys. This is cool. We're enjoying it just as much as I hope you are.
Really appreciate it. Continue to help us grow this community like we know you guys already are. The apparel is coming. Thank you for your patience. Had a logo issue. It's coming soon now. I'm losing my signal, so I'll see you guys.
God bless you.
Next time, right here on Your Lake Fork Guide.
Thanks, buddy. It's awesome, brother. Good job. Thanks, man. Good job.